ሰላም ተማሪዎች እንደምን አላችሁ? ዛሬ surface area and volume of prisms and cylinder የሚለውን እናያለን። Before that, what is prism and what is cylinder የሚለውን defined እናደርጋለን ማለት ነው። What's the difference between prism and cylinder, and what is the difference between prisms and any figures? You can observe here. Here you have the base is, this is what? Rectangular figure you have. At the top also have a rectangular figure. So we call this is what? A prism. This is prism. If the figure have the same bases at the top and at the bottom, they are joined by a rectangular face between the two bases. We call that is a prism. And the name depends on its side. If it is three-sided figure, that means triangle, we call triangular prism. If it is rectangle, that means we call rectangular prism, whether it is a square or rectangle or rhombus, whatever the case. In case of cylinder, as the name indicates, cylinder, it has what? Bases with a circular part. You see, observe here is the circle at the bottom, at the top also a circle. So these two circular parts or circles joined by curve here we have. This curve, we call this is cylinder. This one is cylinder. In case of prism, we have different types of prisms depending on their sides. So when it comes to the prism is a three-sided figure shape with two identical parallel bases connected by what? Rectangular faces. As we said before, that means if we consider this is a triangle, here we have parallel bases. Yes, the bases are parallel, so we call this is triangular prism. Similarly, if you have it is four-sided rectangular prism, you can say if it has four sides, whether it is square or rhombus, whatever the case. If it has five-sided figures, for instance, here we have is a five-sided figure, for instance, here we have. If that's so, we call this one is what? This is equivalent to what? Pentagonal prism. That means pentagonal. Since it is five-sided, we call pentagonal. If it has six sides, we call that is what? That is hexagonal. And so when it comes to about the surface area means what? Total surface area. We call sometimes total surface area. This is a sum of what? Two bases as well as the lateral surface area. We call this is lateral surface area. So twice of base area plus lateral surface area, we call the total surface area or surface area of what? Any prism. The only difference is that, as I told you before, this is a triangle, this is what? The XY plane, that means with two-dimensional. In case of prism, the prism, it is what? It is three-dimensional. This is three-dimensional. This is the difference. In case of prism, that means this triangle has the same base as the top and at the bottom. They are joined by what? Parallel bases connected by a rectangular face. If that's so, we call that is prism. So whether this total surface is equal to this one or at the same time the volume is base area times h, let us consider with example. Four-sided figure, that means rectangular figure. You see, here we have, this is four-sided figure. So when you take out this one, this is in front one, the outer one. Let's take this in the other side. So this classroom has what? Rectangular figure, that means rectangular classroom. Here we have the floor, here we have the roof is here. ይሄ ኮርኒሱ እዚህ ጋር ነው፣ የኛው ደግሞ ወለሉ ነው ማለት ነው። እዚህ ጋር አንዱ ሳይድ አለ፣ ሌላው ተቃራኒ እዚህ ጋር ሌላ ሳይድ አለ ማለት ነው። እዚህ ጋር ያለው ሳይድ with window one side ነው፣ ሌላው ይሄኛው ነው። ስለዚህ ስንት ፌስ አለው ማለት ነው? let's say this is the roof is 1, the floor is 2, this one is what? 3. let's take this in front one is 4, let's take this side is 5, let's take this side is 6. so this rectangular classroom ስንት አለው ማለት ነው? 6 faces አለው ማለት ነው። ስድስት ገጾች ወይም ደግሞ ፌስ አሉት ማለት ነው። if that's so, what is the total surface area or surface area of this rectangular classroom? You know that. Let's take the distance from this. Let's take this one up to this. Let's say this is length L. The distance from this one to this, let's take this one as what? Let's say this is W. Here we have from this floor to the roof, here we have what? A height H. Let's take this one this is H. Here we have H. So what is the total surface area of this figure? To find its total surface area, first we'll try to find what? Area of the floor as well as what? Area of the roof. They are the same. So area of 1, let's take this is area 1 is equals what? Area 2. Since they becomes what? Length times what? Width. They have the same area. When you come to 3 and 4, this is area 3 is equivalent to what? Area 4, yes? This is the opposite side of this rectangular figure 3 with 4. This is yellow color. So what is their area? The area becomes what? This is what? The distance from this, that is length L. This is L. Here we have what? The height H. So this becomes what? Length times what? H. Length times H. Similarly, the area 4, 5, and 6 is what? This is the width on this side. Here we have the width. On this side we have a height. So this means what? Area, that means face 5 and 6. A5 is equal to what? A6, which is equal to what? Width times what? The height H. So the total surface area for this one, let's say simply surface area of this is equal to what? The area 1 plus the area 2 plus area 3. You can't say face 1, face 2, face 3, face 4, face 5, face 6. Plus this is A4 plus A5 plus what? This is A6, yes? You know that A1 and A2 are they are the same. That means it becomes what? This is length times width twice. Plus the other one A4 and A5 are A3 and A4 are the same. A3 and A4. That means length times height, length times height. This becomes what? Twice of length times height. Plus last one is what? A5 and 6. That means width times height, width times height. So this is what? Twice of its width. Width times height. Here we are. When you collect this one, this is twice of length times width plus what? Here we have twice of L plus W. This is times H. You know that. What is the perimeter of this roof? This is what? Length. Here we have length plus width. Here we have length. Here we have width. So here we have what? Twice of length plus width means what? The perimeter of what? This rectangular classroom. So which is equal to twice of length times width plus what? Perimeter times H. So lateral surface area is equal to what? Perimeter times H. This is twice of what? The area of the base equivalent to what? That is surface area. Well, so the surface area taken from this one, it becomes twice of base area plus perimeter times height is the total surface area of this what? This rectangular classroom. Similarly, the volume, you are familiar with that volume of this is what? You know that base area times what? The height H. Our base area is what? Length times width. You see? This is length times width is base area. That means we call this what? Twice of base area, we said. Plus this is P times H, lateral surface area. This is length times width is, that means the base area times H. So the volume of what? Rectangular figure with length, width as well as height is length times width times height. That means in cubic of the unit. So we can find this value or the volume as well as total surface area with this way. በዚህ መሰረት ማግኘት እንችላለን ማለት ምን ማለት ነው? እያንዳንዱ ፌስ ወይም እያንዳንዱን ገጽታ ድምር መውሰድ ማለት ነው። ይሄ ማለት ሰርፌስ ኤሪያ ነው። ሰርፌስ ማለት ስፋት ማለት ነው። ስፋት ማለት ደግሞ ይሄን ቤት ለምሳሌ በምንጣፍ ወይም ደግሞ በሆነ ነገር ከበር ማድረግ ብንፈልግ የሩፉ የሚወስደውን አማውንት እናቃለን ስፋት አስዌላስ ይሄኛው 3 ያለበት ሳይድ የሚወስደው እናቃለን 4ን በተመሳሳይ 5ን በተመሳሳይ 6ን በተመሳሳይ እና ፍሎሩ 2ን በተመሳሳይ ምን ያክል እንደሚወስድ ስፋቱን እናያለን ማለት ነገር ግን በዚህ ክላስሩም ውስጥ የሆነ ነገር ብናስቀምጥ ወይም የሆነ ነገር ብንሞላበትና ፑት ብናደርግ we call that is what volume እንለዋለን ማለት volume ማለት ይሄ ክላስሩም መሬት እስከ ሩፉ ድረስ ያለው ኤሪያ የመያዝ አቅሙ ማለት ነው that we call ይዘት እንላለን ማለት ነው ስለዚህ ምን ይሆናል ማለት ነው we cover it you see ስለዚህ ቢጫው ይሄ yellow ከለሩ አንድ ፌስ ነው ማለት ነው ይሄንን እንደዛ ያደርግ ነው ማለት ነው በዚህ መሰረት ነው ያሳየዋችሁ ስለዚህ you have to have what four sided figure ሆነ ማለት ነው የኛው አንድ ፌስ ነው መስኮቱ ያለበት በዛ በተቃራኒ ያለውና ይሄ ቢጫው ምን አላቸው ማለት ነው the same distance ወይም ደግሞ the same ስፋት ነው ያላቸው ማለት ነው you can see like this you see here we have the opposite on this side also here we have equal face ያላቸው length አቸውና ዊድዛቸው ሄይታቸውና ዊድዛቸው ተመሳሳይ በዚህም ዊድዝና ሄይቱ ተመሳሳይ ነው በዚህ መስኮቱ ባለበትና ይሄ ቢጫው ደግሞ ተመሳሳይ ስፋት አላቸው ማለት ስለዚህ በዚህ መሰረት ስፋት ቶታል ሰርፌስ ኤሪያ ማለት ይሄ ማለት ነው ቮሊዩም ማለት ደግሞ ይሄ ክላስሩም ውስጡ የሆነ ነገር በመሞላው የመያዝ አቅሙ we call that is volume ወይም ይዘት እንላለን ማለት let us consider next one I think this is simple instance to show you now let us consider this example find the total surface area or surface area and volume of what a right triangular prism you see this is what the base is what this is right triangle this is right angle triangle so we call this is triangular prism lemon triangular prism ሆነ because the base is what triangle this is triangle particularly right triangular prism since the degree measure at one side is what that is 90 degree its angle measure is 90 degree we call that is right triangular prism if that's so to find lateral total surface area or we call this is total surface area of this is equivalent to what we said what twice of its base area plus lateral surface area that means perimeter times h in our case since this is 3 means what the same as this is 3 centimeter the same as this one is what 4 centimeter we are familiar that to find the area of a right angle triangle if this one is a this one is b so we call that is what the base area this is equal to what twice of its base area is what 1 over 2 a times what b plus what is the perimeter of this one since it is right angle triangle using Pythagoras theorem what we have this is let's say this is hypotenuse or r let's say r this implies that r is equal to what the square root sum of what there is 3 square plus here is 4 square which is equal to what the square root of what 9 plus that is 16 using Pythagoras theorem what we have this is equal to the square root of 25 what the square root of 25 is that is 5 centimeter so this distance is what 5 centimeter so the perimeter becomes what this is it becomes the perimeter is what 5 centimeter plus 3 centimeter plus here is 4 centimeter times the height h is it is given what is it state is what that is 6 centimeter is 6 centimeter so which is equal to what we cancel 2 by 2 what remains a times b plus 5 plus 3 plus 4 that is what that is 12 centimeter this is times what 6 centimeter here we have ab means what our a is what 3 our b is 4 so this is what 3 centimeter times what this is 4 centimeter plus 12 centimeter times 6 is what that is 72 centimeter square is here what is that so 3 centimeter times 4 centimeter is what this is 12 centimeter square plus this is what 72 centimeter square what is their sum the sum becomes this is equal to 84 centimeter square or square centimeter that so this is the total surface area of what this figure በሌላ አነጋገር ምን ማለት ነው it divides to what this is one face this is the other face on the other side we have faces so take the area of what this four faces that we have ማለት ነው አራቱ ፌስ ኤሪያ መፈለግ ወይም ደግሞ ማግኘት ማለት ነው if that's so we call this is what this is surface area እንላለን ማለት to find the volume of this right triangular prism is that the base area yes times what the height of this prism what is the base area is what the base area is what that is half of a times b times its height is what that is h This is equal to 1 over 2. Our A is what? That is 3 centimeter. Our B is what? That is 4 centimeter. Our H is what? That is 6 centimeter. You have to take this one. This is by 1 and this is by what? That is 2. 3 times 2 6. 6 times 6 is what? That is what? 36. This is 36 cubic centimeter or centimeter cube. So this amount of ምን አለው ማለት ይዘት አለው። ይሄ ይዘት ደግሞ ይሄን ያክል የሆነ ማቴሪያል የመያዝ አቅም አለው ማለትን ያሳያል ማለት ነው። this is volume, this is what? surface area, total surface area እንችላለን። በዛ አይነት መንገድ ሶልቭ ማድረግ እንችላለን ማለት depending on the types of what? The prism. The other one is, it says what? Rectangular prism has what? A base of 5 centimeter by 3 centimeter and height is what? That is 10 centimeter. Is that so? Here we have what? Here we have a rectangular figure. We may do like this. Here we have. You can join this one. So what we have? Here we have. This is a rectangular figure, for instance. Here we have. So you may join this by some rectangular. Here we have. This is the rectangular part of this figure. Here we have joining them. So the bases are what? In both cases are rectangular. This is 5 by 3, for instance. The same for the case of the upper piece. Here we have the same. But they are joining by what? Rectangular what? Face. Rectangular face. If that's so, what is the surface area for this one? So the surface area for this one is what? We call this is surface area, or we can say what? Total surface area. You can use them interchangeably, which is equal to the base area, twice of its base area, plus what? The lateral surface area. That means P times H. We call this is lateral surface area. What is the base area? Since it is rectangular figure, it is what? Length times width. That means 5 centimeter. Times what? This is 3 centimeter times what? This is by 2, since twice of this. Since the bases are the same. Plus the perimeter of this is what? Twice of length plus width times what? The height H. Here we have, let's say length is equals 5 centimeter. You can say, let's say width is equals 3 centimeter, and let's say H is equals what? 10 centimeter. We have to consider this one. So 5 centimeter times 3 centimeter is what? That is 15 centimeter times 2. This is equal to 30 centimeter square. Plus 2 times what? Length, that means 5 centimeter. Plus the width is 3 centimeter. Then times what? The height is what? That is 10 centimeter. You have to take this one. What for? This is equal to 30 centimeter square plus 5 centimeter plus 3 centimeter is what? 8 centimeter. 8 centimeter times 2, that is 16 is. 16 times 10 is what? This is 160 centimeter square. So 30 plus 116 is what? That is 190 centimeter square. This is the area or total surface area of this rectangular figure with base this 5 by what? 3. At the same, the height is what? 10 centimeter. So what is the volume of this rectangular figure is what? Length times width times what? Height. Or if you want to have to say this is base area times what? The height of this rectangular figure. Base area ምን ይሆናል ማለት ነው? Length times width. That means 5 centimeter what? Times what? This is 3 centimeter as we did before. Times the height H is, that is 10 centimeter. What for? 5 centimeter times 3 centimeter is 100, that is 15 is 15 centimeter square. Then times what? Times this is 10 centimeter. What for? Which is equal to 150 cubic centimeter or centimeter. Here is the volume of this rectangular face. ስለዚህ ምንድነው የምናደርገው? total surface area ማግኘት እንችላለን twice of the base area plus lateral surface area ወይም ደግሞ perimeter times h ይሆናል using this formula. The same as the volume is what? Length times width times height ነው. You have to apply this formula, you get the result as we did here. Let us consider in case of cylinder. The difference in that the prism is what? It can be what? It may be triangular prism as I told you. It may be what? A rectangular prism. It may be pentagonal, hexagonal prism. This is a cylinder has two circular bases connected by what? Curved surface. In that case we call that is rectangular face. Here we have curved surface. Here is what? One of the bases is circular. As the same here we have circular base. The bases are circular and these bases are what? The same or they are equal. This and these they are equal. So this equal bases, circular bases connected by what? Curves. A curved surface you have. So we call this is cylinder. So as we are familiar that the area of what? The circle is what? We call this is pi r square. Here is pi r square. As same here is what? Pi r square. As we did in case of prism. So the surface area of the bases is what? That means twice of pi r square. Similarly, the lateral surface of this is what? The base is this one. You have to take the circumference of these bases. Circumference we call this is 2 pi r times the height of what? This. That means you have to consider this is maybe what? The needle can. That means what? Then the lateral surface area is equal to circumference times what? The height h. If that's so, here is the total surface area we have. In case of volume, it is we are familiar that the volume is what? Pi r square h. Since this pi r square indicates that the area of this base, the base area times the height, we obtained what? The volume. How much powder contained in this cylinder? You can say simple instance. You can consider that is needle canis. It is so simple for understanding. So let us consider this problem. Find the surface area. That means it may be what? It is total surface area as well as volume of annulus region given in the figure below. So this is what? This is a cylinder. Inside here we have what? Another cylinder here we have. So from the center of what? The center of the inner one to the edge of what? The other curve. That means in case of the yellow cylinder, the distance is what? That is 6 cm. The other one is what? From the edge or the end of the inner cylinder as well as the end of the yellow cylinder, the distance is what? That is 3 cm. So we can find what? The radius of what? The inner one. The inner one is what? Let's say r1 is equal to what? This is 3 cm. Yes, since 6 minus 3 cm is 3 cm. So what is the surface area of this figure? To find the surface area means what? The surface area of what? Between the inner one as well as what? The outer one. You have to find that area 1. The other one is what? The lateral surface area of what? This the yellow one is as well as the inner part of what? This light blue color is the inner cylinder. Then finally you have to take what? Twice of the difference of the bases area plus lateral surface area of the yellow one, the outer one, plus the lateral surface area of the inner one. That becomes what? Total surface area of this cylinder, this annulus. So the surface area for this figure is equivalent to what? The surface area of annulus between what? The inner and the outer one is area between what? Between inner and outer cylinder. Outer cylinders plus what? Plus lateral surface area of what? The lateral surface area of the outer one. That means lateral surface area P of what? Yellow, perimeter of yellow, times what? Its height, plus perimeter of what? The inner one or light yellow, light blue, times what? The same height H. This is the total surface area. What is the area in between is that? Let's take this one is what? R2 is. Let's take this one is R2. Larger one is. So the area between is equal to what? Pi of R2 square minus what? Pi of R1 square, the inner one. Plus the circumference of what? The circumference of the outer one is equal to what? 2 pi R2s times what? H. The same H plus 2 pi of R1 times what? The same H. Since the outer as well as the inner one, that is the total surface area that we consider. If that's so, here we have what? R1 is 3, R2 is what? 6, which is equal to pi of R2 square. That means 6 square is what? That is 36. Minus R1 square is what? That is 9 centimeter square. Plus, here is 2 pi. R2 is what? That is 6 centimeter. Times the height is what? That is 10 centimeter. Plus, similarly, the inner one is what? 2 pi. R1 is what? That is 3 centimeter. Times the height is what? The same. That is 10 centimeter. We can consider this. So, 36 minus 9 is what? I think this is 27 is. So, this becomes what? 27 pi centimeter square. Plus, 2 times 6 is what? That is 12. 12 times 10, that is what? 120. 20 pi. This is pi centimeter square is. Plus, what about the inner one is what? 2 pi times what? 3 times 10. That means 6 pi times 10. That is what? 16. 60 pi centimeter square. What their sum? Which is equal to? That means 7. 6 plus 2, that is 8. 8 plus 2 is what? 10 is. That is 0. You have 8. 8 plus 2, that is 10. We have 1. 1 plus 1, that is 2. 207 pi centimeter what? Square. This is the total surface area for this figure. What about its area? What about the area of this? Not the area, the volume of this one. I think we complete what? The surface area for this figure. We consider what? Lateral surface area of what? The yellow one, the inner one, and the annulus area. That means between the yellow and light blue cylinders. The other one, the volume is what? The volume is equal to what? Base area times what? The height of this cylinder. What is the base area for this? The base area for this is what? The difference of them is? Yes or no? Yes. It is in between. This part is what? Already what? Drilled or what? Removed. So the area is what? The area, base area is what? Between what? The annulus. This part. If that's so, what is that? This is equal to pi of R2 square minus what? This is R1 square times the height H here, which is equal to pi of what? That means R2 square is what? That means 36 centimeter square minus R1 is what? That is 9 centimeter square times the whole H, that is 10 centimeter, which is equal to 27 is 27 times 10 is what? Which is equal to 270 pi centimeter what? Cubic centimeter. This is the volume of this cylinder. I think this is so simple. First, you will try to find the total surface area, and the base area becomes what? The difference of what? The area of the larger cylinder and minus the area of what? The inner one. After obtaining this area, we multiply by the height of the cylinder. We obtain what? The volume of this cylinder that you have. When you consider the example that is given here, you have a cylinder that with base 6 centimeter and lateral surface area also given that is 120 pi square centimeter. So we'll try to find the volume of what? This cylinder. To find this volume of the cylinder, first you'll try to find what? The height. Since volume of a cylinder is equivalent to what? This is equivalent to base area r squared times h. But we don't have any h here. To solve this h, use this lateral surface area formula. Lateral surface area of a cylinder is equivalent to what? Which is equivalent to the circumference of the cylinder times the height h. Which implies that the lateral surface area is equivalent to what? 120 pi a square centimeter. This is a square centimeter is equivalent to what? 2 pi r. 2 pi r, that is 6 centimeter, times the height, that is h. So, which is equivalent to what? 2 pi times 6 centimeter is what? That is 12 pi centimeter. Times what? The height h, which is equivalent to 120 pi square centimeter. So, to find this h, the height, divide both sides by what? 12 pi centimeter. You have to divide this also what? By 12 pi centimeter. When you cancel this one by 12, this one is 10. This by 12, this is 1. We cancel pi with pi. Centimeter by centimeter, what remains? 1 centimeter. Here is centimeter. So, the value of h is equal to, that is 10 centimeter. So, we obtained the value of the height. After obtaining this value, we can find the volume of the cylinder. Volume cylinder, as we said that, which is equals pi r squared times h, which is equal to pi. Our r is, that is 6 centimeter square times what? The height h is, that is 10 centimeter. This is 6 square means what? That is 36. This is 36 times 10 is what? That is 360 pi. This is 360 pi, yes, cubic centimeter. So, after obtaining the height of the cylinder, we can find the volume. By applying the formula, it says that pi r squared times what? The height of the cylinder. We can find the volume of the cylinder that we are asked. Let us consider the next one. How we bought a new pencil like the one shown on the right. This is the one she bought. She used the pencil every day in her mathematics class for a week. Now her pencil looks like the one shown on the right. How much of the pencil in terms of volume did she use? ስለዚህ እሷ የተጠቀመችውን ለማወቅ ምን እናደርጋለን ማለት? This is what? It has a form of what? Cylinder. Yes? This is cylinder. This is cylinder. If that's so, you'll try to find the volume of cylinder. Yes? But the volume for cylinder is what? Volume of the cylinder becomes what? It is pi r squared times what? H. If that's so, what is the radius for this one? It is 2 centimeter diameter means what? The radius is what? 1 centimeter, yes? Since d is equal to, that is 2 centimeter, this implies what? R is equal to what? 1 centimeter. If that's so, the volume becomes what? This is pi times 1 centimeter square times what? The height. The height is, that is 18 centimeter. What for? Which is equal to 18 pi cubic centimeter. This is the volume of what? How with pencil. Without using it as it is. Now, what she used here is that it has what? A form of what? A form of, here is a cone. Yes, this, after this, it looks like cone. And on this case of this one's what? With 6 centimeter height, with the same radius, it is what? Cylindrical shape. So, you'll try to find the volume of this. The volume of this one. How can you find the volume of this? Up to this, you have to use what? The same formula. This smaller cylinder here we have. This is volume of what? A smaller cylinder. Or plus volume of what? The volume of the cone. Here we have, this is the shape of cone, yes? So, this becomes what? This is equivalent to a volume of what? Volume of a smaller pencil. Pencil, yes. After she was used for working mathematics in a week. So, the volume of this cylinder is what? Since the radius is what? This is 1. the height is 6, so which is equivalent to what? Which is pi r squared. That means 1 centimeter square times the height is what? That is 6 centimeter. Plus, you know that volume of a cone is what? This is 1/3 of what? 1/3 of the base area. That means pi r squared, the same 1 centimeter square. The height of this cone is what? That is 2 centimeters. We have to take the height 2 centimeters. We have to apply this one. Volume of cone. Yes, volume of cone, which is equals 1/3 pi r squared times what? H. You have to apply this formula. When you come to here, which is equivalent to 1 centimeter squared, that is 1 times 6 is what? This is 6 pi cubic centimeter plus 1 square times 2 is what? That is 2/3 pi what? Cubic centimeter. This is the smaller one. So we asked what? How much of the pencil in terms of volume did she use? That means ይሄኛው ምን ያሳያል ማለት የቀረው ማለት the one which is remaining one. remaining የቀራት ይሄ ነው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ የተጠቀመችው ምን ይሆናል ማለት ነው? that means volume of what? volume of pencil she was used is equivalent to what? Volume of the cylinder, the original pencil, minus what? Volume of what? The smaller pencil, remaining pencil. That's so volume of the one which is the new is what? That is 18 pi. This is 18 pi cubic centimeter minus what? This is minus of 6 pi plus 2/3 pi cubic centimeter. Here one. So 18 pi minus 6 pi is what? That is 12 pi. If this is 12 pi minus what? This is 2/3 pi cubic centimeter. ይሆናል ማለት ወይም አስፈላጊ ከሆነ 2 pi 2 pi የጋራ መውሰድ ትችላላችሁ ወይም ደግሞ take LCM is 3. Here is 1. 3 divided by 1 3 times 12 is what? 36 minus 2 pi ምን ይሆናል? That is 34. This is 34 over what? 3 pi cubic centimeter ብለንም በዛ አይነት መንገድ ማስቀመጥ እንችላለን ማለት ነው። This is the volume she was used. የተጠቀመችው ይሄን ያክል ነው ማለት ነው። የቀረውን በዛ አይነት መንገድ ማግኘት ይችላል። ለምን የቀረው ምን ይሆናል ማለት ነው? የሲሊንደር እዚህ ድረስ ሲሊንደር ይሆንና ከዚህ በላይ ኮን ስለሚሆን ቮሉም ኦፍ ሲሊንደር ፕላስ ቮሉም ኦፍ ኮን እንጠቀማለን ማለት ነው። ይሄንን ቶታል ካገኘን በኋላ ከአለው ቶታል ከገዛችው መጀመሪያ ሳትጠቀምበት ከነበረው ላይ የቀረውን ስንቀንስ ምን ያክል እንደተጠቀመች ማግኘት እንችላለን ማለት ወይም ማወቅ እንችላለን። ሲሚላር የቀረውንም ለማወቅ ካልን ደግሞ ይሄኛውን ስንሰራ ይሄኛው ሲሊንደር አለን ዘንድ ኮን አለን የሁለቱ ድምር ሲሆን የቀራት የእርሳስ መጠን በቮሉም ይሆናል ማለት ነው። ከዛ አይነት መንገድ ማሳየት እንችላለን። Now let us consider the next one. Circular hole of radius 5 cm is drilled through the center of a right circular cylinder whose base has radius 7 cm. Whose altitude is 8 cm. Find the total surface area and volume of the resulting solid. Here one. Let us consider this is a circular. The same, but you have to consider it. Here one. So here is a circular cylinder. If we drill out, here is what? Here is radius for this one is what? Let's take this 5 cm. So we drill out this one from the same cylinder. Here we have what the remaining one. But from the center to this is what? The radius of the larger one, circular cylinder, that is 7 cm. If that's so, the height in between is what? What is the height in between? It is given that the height is what? The height is 8 cm. So what is the total surface area of this? Total surface area as we did before, that means total surface area or surface area of this is what? This is area of bases. Area of bases, their reference It is twice plus what? Plus lateral surface area of what? Lateral surface with circumference of what? The larger one. Larger circle. Circle minus what? Sorry, times what? The height plus the lateral surface area of what? The inner one. That means circumference of inner one times h1 አልማት በዚህ እንሰራለን። ስለዚህ twice of base area ስንል twice of what? pi r, for instance r of larger r2 ብንለው, this is r2 ብንለው የኛው ምን ይሆናል ማለት ነው? r1 ሪሌት ተደረገ ይሆናል ነው። so r2 minus what? r2 square minus r1 square ይሆናል plus circumference of the larger one ምን ይሆናል? this is 2 pi r h ይሆናል ማለት ነው። r2 h plus the inner one is what? 2 pi r1 h ይሆናል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ይሄኛውን ስንወስድ what we have 2 pi, this is r2 square ማለት 7 square ሲሆን 49 ይሆናል ማለት ነው። this is 49 minus what? 25 the whole centimeter square plus this is 2 pi r2 ምን ሆነ? that is 7 centimeter times the height is what? 8 centimeter plus twice of pi r, r1 ምን ይሆናል? that means r1 is what? that is 5 centimeter times the height is the same, that is 8 centimeter ይሆናል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ 49 ሲቀነስ 25 ምን ይሆናል? that is 24 ይሆናል። 24 ሲባዛ በ2 this is equals 48 pi centimeter square ይሆናል ማለት ነው። plus እዚህ ጋር ስንመጣ 56 ሲባዛ በ2 ምን ይሆናል? that is 112, that is 112 pi centimeter square ይሆናል ማለት ነው። plus 2 pi times 5 centimeter times 8 ምን ይሆናል? 5 ሲባዛ 8 40 ስለሚሆን 40 በ2 ምን ይሆናል? 80 pi centimeter square ይሆናል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ እዚህን እርዛል ስንወስድ ምን ይሆናል? 48 ሲደመር 112 ምን ይሆናል? 160 160 ሲደመር 80 which is equals what? 240 pi centimeter square ይሆናል ማለት። this is the total surface area of what? this cylinder which is drilled out what? right circular hole of what? 5 centimeter from what? radius of 7 centimeter በዚህ አይነት መንገድ ማግኘት እንችላለን ማለት ነው። ማግኘት እንችላለን ማለት ነው። if that's so, what the volume of this? volume of this hole becomes what? the volume is, this is base area pi of r2 square minus what? r1 square which is drilled out, so times the height of this h which is equal to what? pi into r2 square is what? that is 7 centimeter square minus what? 5 centimeter square times the height is what? the same, the height, that is h. What is h? the value of h is 8 centimeter. Here we go. What wow? which is equals 49 minus 25 is what? 24. This is 24 times 8 pi the whole what? cubic centimeter. 8 times 4 is what? which is equal to 32. Yes, we have 3. 8 times 2, that is 16. We have 3. What's that? 192 pi centimeter cubic centimeter. Here we have. This is the volume that we want to find.